Welcome to Punk's Talk Wrestling! On this episode, we look back at 37 years of debuts, turns, returns, and monumental events as we bring you our Punk's Talk Wrestling Universal Top 12 Survivor Series moments. I am RW Hellborn, the PA Rock Prince, hailing quote-unquote from Philly! And I am one half of the Crown, which is one half of your Punk's Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champions of the world. Now, then, and forever by my side, 3,500 miles away in London, England. He is my tag team podcast partner. He is the other half of the Crown, which is the other half of your Punk's Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champion of the world. Mr. Did You Know? Sir King of Reels, the proper brick, CJ Newman!
Look at that, you kind of pronounce my surname in a different cadence. Did you know, throughout the history of Survivor Series, that unlike SummerSlam and WrestleMania and Royal Rumble and things like that, WWE has only ever booked a big rematch in its entire history. So in 1992 and in 1997, it was headlined by both Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. And that is the only time in Survivor Series history that there's been a rematch. Otherwise, every single match on Survivor Series has been completely unique. Damn. And also, as a Did You bonus, because it's been a while, but I thought this is quite significant. In 1997, right before the Shawn Michaels Bret Hart match, which nothing at all historical happened whatsoever.
What match?
That one. It was the debut of the WWF scratch logo. Right before that match, they did a vignette for WWF Attitude. So the watermark that was on the screen for the main event of that show was still the old school, next generation block logo.
Yeah, holy shit, you're right. Come on. You can't
very soon
tell
after
me.
that, they moved to the scratch logo.
That they debuted the scratch logo in a vignette before the match.
Yes.
And you're telling me that ending is not a fucking work? I mean, come on. They telegraphed it.
Yeah. Pretty crazy, right?
It's fucking great.
And just as a little guess, when do you think the logo changed from the scratch logo to the current logo we have now? What year do you think that was?
The scratch logo to the current logo. Well, they had to go through they had to change between WWF and WWE.
But they still had the scratch logo. They
still had the scratch. They just cut.
They got the F out.
They got the F out. They cut off the hedge with the chainsaw.
Yep.
Remember that one? Yeah, that was good. Man, I feel like they kept that scratch logo for way longer than they needed to.
Probably the longest logo they ever had.
2015 or 16 maybe.
You're so close. It was 2014.
It was 2014. Oh.
Yeah, you were super close.
Nice.
But if you think about it,
10 years of the. We're talking about the nice sharp WW.
The one they have currently, yeah.
The one we have currently, yeah.
Yeah. So the block logo, the shiny block logo, is 82 to 94. So we're talking 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next generation logo, the yellow and blue one with the logo slightly at an angle with a square in the background, that was 94 to 97.
Yeah, that was
that's
only
like
lasted
3-4 years.
But that was a variation on the original logo.
Of the
That was
original block. So if we go with that, we go from 82 to 97, which is what, 15 years?
Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So then we've got the Scratch logo, which is the same as the next Scratch logo, basically, without the F.
Right. Yeah.
We're talking 1997 to 2014. So
that's another 14 years. Yeah, there've been.
97 to 2014. That's nearly
almost 20 years.
Yeah, well, it's like 17 years.
Yeah.
So the Scratch logo's been around the longest. Now, the current one's been around for 10 years.
Yep.
So
it's probably got at least another 5. We've got another 5 years good in that.
Yeah. I mean, they technically had another logo before that, but that was just like WWF in like Times New Roman, and then it was just a globe underneath it.
Yeah. These are the actual stylized branded, like this is part of their branding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, did you bonus and a little extra
history on the logo right there. Yeah. And how's about we talk about Survivor Series?
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
Let's do 12, top 12.
Good job. Well done.
Yeah.
Anyway, professional wrestling. How about that?
How about that? With that, I guess we'll.
Oh, for that.
I'll open
it's been
up.
a while.
I'll open up. Yeah, I know. It feels like it's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like forever.
Yeah, shit.
That is a can of generic lime seltzer from Giant. And this is Icebreakers Ice Cubes Wintergreen Gum. My official gum and seltzer of my end of Punk Stock Wrestling.
Yeah, I need some sponsors. I'm just too lazy.
Yeah, I mean they're not really sponsors. We're sponsoring them.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I need to sponsor something.
Yeah.
All I ever sponsor is water, but I just drink water. Or water. Sorry, not saying it properly. Water.
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 Water over here. No, water like.
Water.
No,
water.
No, that's.
Water. I want a glass of water.
Holy shit! That's
like that, right?
That sounds like when you change your GPS, like the way that I have an English accent on my GPS. That sounds like what a British phone company's English fake accent would sound like.
That's pretty good, like ditzy Californian girl, though, right?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I'm going.
Not as good as my Bronson Reed impression, though.
Your British Bronson Reed impression. Yeah.
British Bronson Reed. I'll probably cut that and put that all up on the Patreon then.
Sweet as a nut.
Yeah, that's a good little chunk that has nothing to do with what this episode is really about.
That's right. What we're actually going to talk about is a Survivor Series top 12 moments.
Yeah, so as we normally do, we're gonna go through our list of basically all the stuff that we have.
Yeah.
And kind of put them in an order that we think makes sense to us.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've done a top 12 as well.
It's been a while.
Every time. Well, let's start. I'll start with what's on the first on my. I think pretty much everything on your list was on my list, and then I had a few more. So, but if there's not, let me know. So I'll just start from the very top here.
All right.
Fuck it. No, I'm not going to start from the bottom because I can. So, first on the list, and is the most recent, and it's a pretty big one. It's the return of CM Punk.
Yeah, that's got it. Yeah, that's a perfect bar to start at because that's both a high fuck bar, but it's also very fucking recent. I mean, it was last year.
So we got, it can have quite recency bias with that one because of its, but at the same time, you got to think here, the significance of it. Like he hadn't been in the company for 10 years, and no one ever thought he'd ever come back to the WWE, and here he is. So
yeah, I certainly did. 2023 pre-Survivor Series RW Hellborn certainly didn't think or want him to come back.
Yeah,
and then post Survivor Series, I think it was actually 2024. It took
2024. It took a few months. Yeah,
it took until the Royal Rumble until his arm got broken or until his tricep was torn, and then they pivoted. It took me a while, but I came around to the correct conclusion.
And I'm sure we'll get to what we did last year as well with our kind of best of the year. But Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, definitely a rivalry of the year contender right there.
Yeah.
Fucking
oh God,
stellar
I can't wait.
Shit right there.
I can't wait because this is the first year that we'll have. I know this is for a future episode, but this will be the first year that we have a full year.
Yeah, a full year to look back on. Yeah.
Podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. So all right, CM Punk. Yeah. All right, we're gonna.
So that's gonna go plop right there in whatever number right now. We'll decide, but we're gonna keep adding above or below it until we get 12, and then we'll keep adding and taking out, I guess.
Yeah.
So next on my list is the Shield debut from 2012. That was literally
the thing I highlighted that as I was gonna say that as well.
So we had a triple threat between Ryback, CM Punk, and John Cena, and lights go out, and here come the Shield.
Yeah.
So actually, no, lights didn't go out. They just came over the barricade.
No, they came through. Yeah, there was no. Yeah. Yeah, they were just from NXT.
Yep, just some NXT guys. Yeah, I mean, while it is. This is more of a debut than a return. Well, this is a debut more than a return.
This would be considered debuts of specifically.
I mean, I guess with moments, I take them as, and I think of them more as what's more significantly, what's more historically significant.
Well, yeah, because this is, whereas the return of CM Punk is instantaneously monumental.
Yeah,
their debut was only. There was yet to be written, so
at the time it meant nothing. But now looking back, it's one of the most important debuts of all time.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely, because we have Roman Reigns, we have Seth Rollins. I mean, dude, I know we can't be the only people thinking about it, well, especially when we're looking at all of these debuts, returns, turns that we talked about. On the Patreon at patreon.com/PunkTalkWrestling. That probably got cut out of this episode already. Is there any point in talking about Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose return at Survivor Series in this year? No, I don't. I can't. No. I don't think we can. Not yet. But
no. I mean,
that's coming. But that's coming.
Yeah, someday.
It's probably
right now,
coming.
as it stands, he's involved in a really big story time. Time. I read the word time and I said story time. He's involved in a really big storyline in AEW right now. So that's not going to happen.
But we know. But I think the involvement with Seth Rollins, the talks of this, the history of Survivor Series and them.
Yeah.
With this being their debut, it's an inevitability that when he returns, if he returns, it would make the most sense to return it at Survivor Series.
Oh yeah, of course.
And next year, because next year's War Games could be easily a whole bunch of other people versus a whole bunch of other people.
Oh yeah.
And it could be AEW invasion of WWE by that point. Who knows?
Who knows?
And it'll be which side is Dean Ambrose on.
Yeah, that's probably how they'd play it.
I mean, that is how. Yeah, Triple H.
Shield debut. Does that go above or below the CM Punk return?
I think I lean on the debut being more prominent than a return in this case, and because of how epic all three of them and of course and Roman Reigns most of all have become. Yeah, I think it's higher. I think the debut is higher because of all the possibilities.
I'd
That's
agree.
what I would do.
I think it's like when you look back at, these are in all of these people's lives and careers, it's historical moments. But if you're looking at Roman Reigns, one of the, he's a megastar, for fuck's sakes. So, I think that's got to go above CM Punk. It's the debut of it's the debut of, of one of the wrestling icons. So how could you not?
And why don't we just draw it right back in, right through? I'm tongue tied. I was gonna try to transition that a lot better, but I didn't. Rock's debut.
Cool.
Where does
okay.
that fall? In 1996, because I mean it's
right
the
there.
That's
if we're going by the same token of what we just said.
It has to be bigger, yeah.
It has to be bigger, yeah. But at the same time, it's the Shield debut. I know it's more recent, but it had more of an oomph to it. They literally got involved in the main event, right? Whereas The Rock just had a match against Goldust. That's
just
it.
Had a match with that Gold, and he beat him with a shoulder breaker.
Yeah. So with that,
it kind of dumps it down when you put it that way.
So I almost
when you put it that way.
With that, like, you got to think, like, it wasn't The Rock. It was Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
He had to go through a character change, and like, this isn't The Rock like we know him now. This was just a guy, and with that, I would say it goes below the Shield debut and below the CM Punk return.
I agree 100%. Yeah, you're right. It absolutely does. It meant nothing. It meant like it was his debut, and they touted it, but it didn't do any. Nobody cared.
Like,
they hated him.
Like, the lineage of the Roman Reigns and Seth goes all the way back to their debut together at Survivor Series. The lineage of The Rock doesn't really go back to Rocky Maivia. It kind of stops when Rocky Maivia stops, and then starts again when he was The Rock in the Nation. So I mean, of course it gets talked about. Like, people. Oh yeah, don't ignore that it exists. But I just feel like it's more of a trivia question answer than it is something that's too.
That would be a WWE themed Jeopardy question for people who aren't wrestling fanatics. Like, the common Rock. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson first went by this name when he debuted in WWE. That'd be a good Jeopardy question.
Yeah, it's got that kind of vibe to it. So with that, it goes at the bottom of our 3 so far. How about we'll go. I'll go next, and then you go next, kind of thing.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so I've got the Undertaker returning in 2005 at the end of the 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, where he gets carried out in a casket, and then it gets hit by lightning. It's set on fire, and then he kicks the door off, and he's inside a fucking standing up on fire casket. It's the coolest shit. It's up there. It's my favorite Undertaker return, because God knows there's loads of them. It's just a cool visual. Is it a memorable moment? Is it historic? No, but it looked cool.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And crazy enough, I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah. It's obviously because Randy had put Undertaker in a casket, set it on fire, and he was gone for a few months, and this was his return. It's coming out of a flaming casket, by the way, basically.
Oh,
so.
Right. This was not the time. Yeah, Kane. The time Kane did that was earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would put it at the bottom of the list. I could see this one slowly being kicked out as we go along, but let's definitely put it under The Rock's debut for now. Yeah. Because things will slowly feed out of the list, so let's put that one there. It's not a massive moment.
It might also lead us to the necessitation. I don't know if necessitation.
It is now. I know what you meant.
It's a PTW, PTW necessitation award.
Yeah.
Just shit that we thought is cool, but like wasn't necessarily the most memorable. Like the Rikishi off the cage, which Some people online. Well, first of all, it's blowing up again, which is great. You have these Sir King of Reels. You have these golden reels that just continue.
Necessitation is a noun that means the act of making something necessary or unavoidable. So there you go.
It is a word. They work quick. The internet works quick to make sure I'm right. Someone I guess they were questioning our judgment of that being a underappreciated moment, or what how did we put it? How did we put it? Now I lost the underrated.
Underrated. Yeah. That's the word.
Underrated moment. And it was like, they said something like, it's not an underrated moment at all. People just forget about it and aren't talking about it. I'm like, well, isn't that precisely what that means?
I'd say that's
what that means.
Underrated. It's like a moment that shouldn't have been forgotten about, basically. Yeah. It's like it was fucking cool at the time, and I think it's a kind of thing that people were talking about for a few weeks, but then it was forgotten about. But it's like it shouldn't have been forgotten about. I feel like
it just means even if by underrated I mean you scored it an 88 and I think it's a 90, that's still underrated. It's underrated for what it actually was. It doesn't mean like forgotten or completely Anyway,
cool. Well, that's at the bottom
of you.
Bottom of our list. What's next on yours?
At the top of my list, Austin drops Triple H in the car in 2000.
Cool.
That's sort of that's more of the moment.
That's another
holy
similar
shit.
to the Undertaker returning kind of vibe. Yeah. So I remember this so much. And it's so funny because Triple H was on Raw the next night, which is fucking hilarious.
Right, of course.
I don't know why the fuck they thought that was a good idea. Anyway, but for the moment itself, they had like a fucking 35-minute no disqualification match, which ended in a no contest because Austin tried to murder a guy.
Right.
But,
that is one of the most violent, probably the most violent potential deaths in WWE.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of... the next nearest thing would be when Hulk Hogan drove the truck into the Rock when the Rock was in the ambulance. Remember that?
Oh yeah, there was a couple times when we had ambulance crashes.
Yeah, or when Kane had Shane McMahon had Kane in the limo and he drove him underneath the fucking truck. There's been a lot of crazy, cool car moments in the WWE.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what?
We need an automobile top 12, I think.
We really should. We need to, because there's another one that happened for Survivor Series too. That's when Stone Cold got run over.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many automobile moments.
So where do both? So both of these are involving Austin. Austin was involved in two potential automobile homicides. One, he got hit in 99. He tried to kill Triple H in 2000. But where do those both land?
And I think the reason he was trying to kill Triple H in 2000 is because Triple H obviously was the one that put the hit out on Austin and got Rikishi to do the running over. So
that's right.
Therefore, he was trying to get his own back this time, not by running him over, but by flipping a fucking car over from 35 feet.
This almost is
they tie in.
It's a complete tie. It's a Survivor Series, a year-long storyline tie-up. Yeah. So, we could kind of put it... I would put it together in that regards.
I don't know. They're two very distinct moments.
Yeah, but together it's one long storyline, a chain.
I tell you what I would do. I would get rid of the Austin flipping Triple H's car, but I would put in the... Austin being hit by the car. I think that's more... So
that's the debut of the storyline.
Yeah, the debut. Yeah, and let's not forget, this storyline I always compare to The Simpsons when Mr. Burns got shot, because Mr. Burns got shot at the end of the season or something, and then they had a whole who done it, who shot Mr. Burns. And this was a very similar thing. It was who ran over Austin, and it was a big thing for a whole year. Until we had the famous, I did it for the Rock.
I did it for the Rock.
I did it for the people.
I did it for the people.
Yeah.
Fuck,
God, your impressions are flawless.
spot on. They are exactly. They are pristine. They are. So where do we put this? Though?
I put this above the Undertaker return, below the Rock's debut.
I agree. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Mine next.
Yeah. You go.
I have got quite a interesting one here. I've got Helen Hart throws in the towel during Bret Hart versus Bob Backlund, 1994.
I forgot about 1994.
Yeah. So not much to say here. But Helen Hart throws in the towel because Bob Backlund's got Bret Hart and a crossface chicken wing.
So this gives Bob Backlund his last quick run.
Yeah,
right?
This is Bob Backlund's last little run. Yeah, before Diesel beats him at a house show.
Right. So they use Bob Backlund, which this is interesting because this moment might not be. I forgot about this, but when you take it into consideration, the history of Bob Backlund and the title.
Yeah.
Giving him another run and being the transitional champion that the Iron Sheik was, beating Bob Backlund to move it to Hogan as they were trying to move it to Diesel, which obviously definitely failed. It was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Diesel was a bad champion. It just, I don't remember much about that era. This was not, I don't know. Something about it was just not resonant. Diesel never really resonated with me.
Yeah.
Never really cared.
For this moment, though, for everything that we've got on the list so far, I put it at the bottom. Great moment, but you know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's keep it at the bottom because it's there.
Yeah, let's put it at the bottom. Right. So far, we've got 6. So we've nearly got our 12, but obviously going to keep adding. So what you got next?
Okay, we've got. I have the top of my list is Andre the Giant being the first sole survivor in 1998 as the
sweet. 1988.
1988, yeah.
Yeah.
Memorable. I mean, that's a.
So this isn't memorable, but it is significant in the fact it is significant for Survivor Series because this is the first. I mean, sole surviving in a classical Survivor Series match is,
is difficult.
It's difficult, and only a few people have done it. So to be the first person to do it, it's kind of like being the first person to win the Royal Rumble or be the king of the ring or whatever. So
it has its place. It has its place in the history.
Yeah, right. That's why I think it definitely deserves to be here. At least on the list for now. So
yeah, that would be the hard contender of our Lucky 13 spot of like the thing that Matt. It kind of it's meaningful. It deserves to be there, but doesn't really have a place.
Yeah,
but we'll see where it lands.
Well, for now, I'm putting it above the Helen Hart throws in the towel. I'd still think it's more important than that, so I'm putting it there.
I would even put it above the Undertaker return, the 2015 return.
Yeah, that's true. I'd go with that. All right, let's put that there.
And mainly because Undertaker also has all of his a lot of memorable moments. I mean, he's got the debut in 1990 and his retirement in 2020.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of Undertaker moments.
We should probably figure out where those lie.
Right. So I am gonna go with. I'm just choosing them at random now. I'm going to go with the first ever Elimination Chamber match in 2002.
Right, yeah.
So, again, very important moment for the WWE. Elimination Chamber's not been a flash in the pan match. It's been a staple since 2002.
Yeah, and
so
it fits in the theme of a match that you had to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't a traditional, it wasn't the traditional 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 elimination.
Exactly.
But that was during I think that was one of, correct me if I'm wrong. I know,
Right.
I'll correct myself by just looking at it. Actually, there was a few years when there wasn't any traditional Survivor Series matches.
Yeah, in the late 90s, and then 1999, I'd say like 96, 7, and 8, they didn't do any classical Survivor Series matches. And then in they did, and then in 1999 they went hardcore and they fucking did shitloads.
Right.
For some reason. And then 2000 they didn't do any. 2001 we had the end of the invasion angle.
Yeah, that.
And then 2002 again we didn't have any. And then from 2003 onwards we had the Survivor Series matches back until War
and they
Games
were like
arrived.
and they were like Raw versus SmackDown. Basically.
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, they were brand supremacy matches.
Yeah. So I feel like WWE was getting bored of the Survivor Series matches for a while, but just kept finding a reason to bring it back. So
well, I think the reasons to bring it back is because people kept whining and complaining that they wanted them back, and I think that's fine. I think it's fine. You've got to take it was getting stale.
Yeah.
And we know that they do this. They will when something gets a little stale, they switch it up. They give it some room. And then they bring it back when everyone's ready for it.
Yeah. So
where do we put that? Where do we put that as the debut of a new type of match is pretty significant.
Especially one that's lasted the test of time too. So
yeah, it's now 20.
I'd actually put this just below the CM Punk return.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, I'd say this is pretty up there. I think
it's. I never thought it would be that high, but when you really think about it, it's actually really important. So, cool. You next.
Okay. I'm just fixing my ordering here. Whoops. We did Andre. Memorable moment. 2003, the Buried Alive match where it was Undertaker versus Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And then we get the return of Kane. Kane returns. Another return.
No, not a return.
Oh, it wasn't? I thought. Oh, never mind.
So
scratch
Kane,
that. I'm wrong.
Kane was in an ambulance match against Shane earlier in the night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then, what was it? Wait, did he win that match?
I don't remember. Or there is a moment from that match which is on my list, but which we'll get to later.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't actually know. So
I don't remember. Anyway, considering my lack of memory surrounding the circumstances of it.
Yeah, Kane won that match.
Okay,
Hence
so
why
Kane
he
won
was
the
in
match.
this.
But were we at the time surprised that he turned on Undertaker? Was he supposed to be on his side, and now he's Was this the beginning of corporate Kane?
No. I think this was more of like basically they wanted to get back to Kane versus the Undertaker because this was the start of bringing back the Dead Man gimmick. So who better to bring?
Because this was back.
Yeah. So then come WrestleMania the year after, WrestleMania 20, that's when they bring back Paul Bearer, and then we have Kane versus the Undertaker at WrestleMania once more, but Dead Man versus Kane again. So,
so this is a lot of this. This has more to do with future storylines.
But I think it's definitely historically significant in the sense that it brought back the Dead Man Undertaker that we all know and love.
Yeah.
So I'd put it, if I was looking at this list, I'd probably put it.
That's, I guess, yeah. When you look at it, he what's the word? He literally buried the American
gimmick.
Badass gimmick. Yeah.
Right. So I'd probably put this just above The Rock wins his debut and below the Elimination Chamber.
Oh, okay.
Or a bit lower, maybe between Austin getting run over and The Rock's debut.
Yeah, I like that. I agree with that more.
Yeah, let's put it in there.
Yeah. Oh, we should figure. You know what? We should at least place these now in our list. The Undertaker's debut and the Undertaker retirement in 2020.
Okay.
30 years later.
Now,
or
I think well, then we can do that now. I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah. Do we think of this the same way as the Stone Cold, and like this is one huge moment of.
I think. Well, here's what I was gonna say. The Undertaker debut 100% should be in this list, and we should figure out a spot for that.
Yeah.
The Undertaker retiring doesn't go on this list. Two reasons. One, well, no, because this was his last. This was his last appearance as this gimmick, right?
Yeah.
But I see his WrestleMania 40 moment last year when we were in attendance.
Yes, we were.
As more of a significant moment for the ending of his career than the actual goodbye. Second reason is because this goodbye happened in front of no fans. It took away the significance of it. So
yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. In everything about that.
So I think, but Undertaker's debut should 100% be on there.
Yeah, which means that retirement wouldn't. It just won't make our list. So there's no point in putting it anywhere below. We know it's not going to make it. So
yeah.
So the debut, where do we put?
Is
the Undertaker above The Rock? I mean, The Rock.
I would put him above The Rock. Yeah, and again,
I think so too, because The Rock may be, Dwayne Johnson might have a bigger career outside of wrestling. As far as professional wrestling, I mean, this is an iconic character this is just such an iconic character. I think it's bigger than the Elimination Chamber. I would even put it above the return of CM Punk. I mean, honestly, it's hard to say it's not above the Shield debut. Right? Like
I think you're right, because
the debut of the Undertaker.
I mean, really, let's look at this here. Like it's the debut of one of the most. I mean, he didn't make a name for himself outside of wrestling, but the fact that he made a name for himself inside of the walls of wrestling, and everyone outside of wrestling knows who the Undertaker is, says everything you need to know. Yeah. And unlike The Rock's debut, with that debut, that character that he debuted as is the one that he retired as, and he also literally dominated in that match too. So I think it's got to go at the top. It's one of the most famous debuts of all time. Period.
Yeah, I think it's a top moment for sure. It's up there now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
cool.
quick look up. I'm looking up the year of the Sting. Oh, 2014.
Yeah.
2014 was Sting's debut. Do we want to put that any? Do we want to put that anywhere?
I'm not putting that in because his career.
It's not gonna make the list.
No, it's just not. I can see it. We could put it in, but it's gonna quickly wean its way out 100% because I'm putting it on bottom immediately.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
and that's not. And it's just not. It's not being.
There's no dig to Sting, but I think it's just if I'm doing this as top moments of Survivor Series, it was a huge moment, but it led to nothing really, honestly. So
it really didn't. It was a vanity debut,
Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna go with fuck it. Let's fucking go. Montreal Screwjob. Where are we putting that motherfucker?
The Montreal. Yeah. I mean,
It's a tricky one. It's definitely.
It's a tricky one because
different to the rest because it's not a scripted moment. It's just.
pretty
fucking raw.
Yeah, sure.
So.
It's not a scripted. Yeah, right. Yeah, funny joke.
I thought I'd throw that one in there.
Dude, the Montreal Screwjob is the best work ever done in professional wrestling. Whether it was a work or not, it's still the best work because
they made it work. Whatever it was.
They made it work. Everybody, we talk about it every time it comes up. We talk about this. There's no way it's not a work in my mind because everybody benefited from it.
Yeah.
From the perspectives of what happened to each individual person after that, everyone benefited. Bret Hart got to go to WCW with a big chip on his shoulder to get all the WCW fans and anti-WWE fans to give him a big fucking push.
Right.
And he did what he did, and also fuck Goldberg for ending Bret's career. Another reason why there's nothing that Goldberg ever does will ever make any of our lists. I will.
Even though he beat Brock Lesnar in 84 seconds, it
doesn't fucking matter. That doesn't matter. That's who fucking cares. Like, who fucking cares? Like, I don't.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit about anything that Goldberg's ever done in WWE? Not me. Not me. No. That's an RW Hellborn that's never gonna die.
He'll die on that hill.
I will die on that hill.
What moment are we talking about here?
We're talking about Montreal Screwjob.
Montreal Screwjob. Shit. Yeah, of course.
Is it bigger than the Undertaker's debut? Is it bigger? Because that's a moment, but is it bigger than the debuts that made iconic characters?
I actually would put it between the Undertaker and the Shield debut.
I'm not going to disagree with that because it is so big. It is monumental.
Because it's like I just feel like it's bigger than the Shield debut only because hey,
yeah,
we've only seen 12 years. We've only seen 12 years of Seth and Roman. Like,
no,
Undertaker's got like 20 more years on those guys. So
yeah, it certainly yeah, I 100% agree with that.
So, all right, we'll pop it there. So that gives us 11. So we've got one more spot to fill, and then we can keep going and push.
We're just pushing. Yeah.
What are you going for next?
What do I go for next? Let's. You know what? This is one of those that unfortunately is going to get pushed on next. There is not a lot of female representation in these Survivor Series.
There isn't.
Moments.
You're right, and I noticed that too. Yeah, I got a couple.
No, I got one. One of them was the Team NXT win.
Cool.
The women's triple threat one. I think that's big. I think it's big enough to be a contender on the list because that was the first time. It was the first time NXT was being represented in Survivor Series. I believe.
It was, yeah. It was the NXT SmackDown Raw triple 5v5v5.
Yeah. This was peak Black and Gold era.
It was, yeah.
Who did we have in that one?
We'd have to look it up. What year was that? 2019?
2019. That was. We had. Let's see. We had to do 5-on-5 Women's Survivor Series. That was Team NXT, Rhea Ripley, Bianca, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Toni Storm versus Team Raw, Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Sarah Logan versus Team SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross.
Cool.
The men's 5-on-5 series was Team SmackDown, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, King Corbin, Mustafa Ali, and Shorty G versus Team Raw, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Ricochet. And Team NXT, Tommaso Ciampa, Damian Priest, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Walter.
Wow.
That's
a who's who of... Look at that.
This Survivor Series 2019, which we have not done we didn't pick. We have to pick our review this today too, don't we?
We do, yeah.
We do. God, I hope we get this one. Because this is a good one.
Oh, this was a great... I remember this show. It's a fucking brilliant show. We
Holy
had
shit.
Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne, man. We had Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt.
There was and triple threat matches from all the champions.
Yeah. It was great.
This was also promoted... Excuse me. This was one of the ones promoted on WWE's top list of moments. I guess I just feel like it's worth a mention because
Well, I'm
It
gonna
was a
put
highlight. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna put it because now we've got a 12, so I'm gonna put it at number, which would be number 10, so just above Undertaker that returns in a burning casket, and below Andre becomes the first ever sole survivor.
Hold on 1 second. Oh, got it. Sorry, there was a spider.
Oh shit.
Had to. What's that? Where are we putting this?
Just below Andre becomes the first ever sole survivor.
Okay. Yep. I like that. Yeah. I mean, it is unfortunately just hard.
Because I feel like it's hard to put it above anything else.
Because it is just the it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. All right.
Right now, we have a 12, but now.
Yeah, but I've still got a couple on the list that I think.
Same. I got a few more too, so I definitely think some could be pushed out. So,
yeah.
I will go with Sheamus cashes in on Roman in 2015.
Yeah, that was big. That was memorable for SummerSlam.
Survivor
I think
Series.
it was the Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Memorable for Survivor Series. I think that was the only time a Money in the Bank cash-in happened at a Survivor Series.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah. I think you are. It's a great moment, but I don't know if it's worthy of maybe going on this list. Roman Reigns had just beat Dean Ambrose for the vacant World Championship, and he obviously held that championship for minutes?
Yeah.
And then Sheamus defeats him.
Yeah, but that's what the Money in the Bank is for. You're supposed to.
Yeah, I guess it because it had the confetti coming down and everything like that. I won't put it on the list. I don't think it. You don't think out.
It doesn't outperform Helen Hart throwing in the towel, or.
I'm the only reason I'm putting it in because I feel like other things on the list will push Helen Hart out. Sorry, Helen.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
So we'll leave it for now. But how about you give us another one?
Kurt Angle's 1999 debut. Where do we want to add that? It wasn't a great debut. Right?
Yeah. It's. That's the thing, and this is Kurt Angle's debut is even less spoken about than The Rock's.
Yeah, because it was just it was. What was? Let's find out where that was in 1999.
Yeah, it was against Shawn Stasiak. Second match of the night. I don't know,
it just wasn't that. It was just a debut. It wasn't a.
It's a debut, isn't it? It's like it's the debut of someone who would end up having an amazing career. Therefore, I do feel like it does certainly deserve to be on the list, but I wouldn't put it as high as the other debuts. I wouldn't even put it as high as the Shield debut for sure. I would probably put it just below the NXT Women's team winning.
Okay, that low.
Yeah, what do you think?
It's hard for me to put this gets weird because I feel like his debut at least is more important than Stone Cold getting run over by a car.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're totally right on that.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be somewhere. It makes
How about?
But maybe not. Maybe it's not.
No, how about right above that? I think you're right. I think we're not giving Kurt Angle enough credit. He was one of the greatest of all time.
It really was. Yeah, he really was freaking phenomenal, and I think I think it deserves to be up a little higher there.
All right, cool. So Kurt Angle just above Austin getting run over, and then that. Sorry, Helen, but I'm throwing in the towel on you.
Yeah, Helen.
So
yeah.
see ya. Cool. I
All
am
right.
gonna go with another Kurt Angle moment, and that's
Okay.
Kurt Angle helps the Team WWE beat the Alliance at Survivor Series 2001.
Okay. Oh yeah. 2001 Alliance.
So again, not a great storyline, but a
No.
cool moment in itself.
And it's a turn. It's a turn.
It's a yeah, it's a turn. It's a turn.
It also is. It ends the invasion angle. It finally ends that.
Puts the whole thing to bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the list, and like the only thing it could possibly outbeat is the Undertaker's burning casket return.
You think? I mean, okay. This is also where let's think about what this signified, what this angle actually signified. If everything would have been the best it possibly could have been, this was the final nail, the triumphant win of WWE over WCW. It's finally over.
That was what it. That's what this. Wow, my microphone really. That was weird.
Yeah.
This signifies the very, very end of WCW and ECW. Like,
yeah.
But
for
that significance, you're completely right. But like you say, it ended what was an underwhelming storyline, meaning it took away from the moment in the sense that it's a great moment in itself.
Yeah.
And that the crowd popped for it, and it was an amazing moment. But does it go above anything on our list?
I want to look at it from the perspective of what it means to Survivor Series.
Right.
That's I guess a better
okay
judge of it. And I feel like giving it what it's at least a little bit of a credit for what it could have been,
right?
Because there's a lot of things we could think about when it comes to what could have been on this list.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%. So I think I don't want to put I hate pushing anything else down further, but I think it means more to Survivor Series than even Andre the Giant being the sole survivor, at least. Maybe.
Yeah, I get it has.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I could see what you mean.
But we could come in the middle. We could meet in the middle. Like
I'd say, how about just above the NXT Women's Team winning in 2019?
Okay. Yeah. I hate to put. I mean, I do. I hate to put that any further because it's really because it's pretty much on the edge now already.
Yeah. Well, that pushes out.
Pushes out the Undertaker casket.
Yeah, so that's gone.
Yeah.
Cool. What you got next?
I've got the 1998 Rock winning his first title.
Cool. Yeah, I've got that too.
But I don't think this makes the list.
Me neither.
Because the match, because of it was just a mess.
It was a mess. It was a copy of the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah,
and we know that kind of taints it a little bit. It's significant in the fact that it's The Rock's first title win, but at the same time, he had much more better title wins to come. And
yeah, I think his debut being higher up on the list is good enough.
Yeah.
For him. I don't think it makes the list.
Well, I got two more. I got Paul Heyman turning on Brock Lesnar, 2002.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know. Would you put that there anywhere?
I don't think it does. I don't think it makes it to the top 12.
Same. Yeah. I think again, like it was a cool moment. You didn't expect it, but we all know that Paul and Brock end up getting back together anyway. So it was kind of like a story that went nowhere. So
yeah, it was shocking at the time.
It was shocking
in the moment, but but it didn't stand the test of time enough.
Yeah. My very last one is Shane jumping from the ambulance onto Kane in the ambulance match.
Yeah. I mean, good spot. But
spot. memorable,
I don't even think
replayed a lot, but again, it doesn't really overcome anything else on this list. I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
we really don't. There's very few actual spots.
Yeah.
I mean,
fact,
well, now that's actually there's I guess angle turning on the Alliance is a spot. It's a turn, but it's also a spot. It's a thing that
yeah, but it's more storytelling than it was like a spot in a match.
Stone Cold getting runned over is runned over.
Runned over.
Runned over. My PA's showing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean,
we got our 12.
There's 12 right there with a Mr. with well, yeah. We'll talk about it when we get there. Because it can't this is our top 12 of moments that happened.
Yeah, but what's your caveat?
My caveat. Well, we'll get to the caveat because there's moments that could have been. There's a world in which we don't live in. But I do. But I visit sometimes in my dreams, and you know.
Why don't you divulge me in these moments?
There's a moment. This would have been the number one moment of the podcast of our list if it had happened. Regardless, would have been the match that should have happened between WWE Champion Jinder Mahal and Universal Champion Brock Lesnar.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen because somebody was fucking hindering the Jinder till the very end. And,
I did. You know what? Jinder was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast.
Yeah, he did talk about. Whatever he talked about there is probably the most accurate.
And I can't remember what he said. We'll have to get back to that. Oh, here we go. Fuck it. I'm finding out right now.
There we go.
Finding out right fucking now. Oh, there you go. He didn't refuse. I just think he was probably pitched for a match with AJ because stylistically it's a match that's much better. Me and Brock were both heels. Who's going to put heat on who? It was going to be a flat match. It would have just been him suplexing me a bunch of times. Maybe the Singh Bros get involved. But the match he had with AJ was phenomenal. No pun intended. So yeah, I don't think it was that he refused to work with me. I just think that Brock had to pull him and Paul Heyman. I just think Brock had some pull, and him and Paul Heyman probably said, "Hey, we should talk to Vince," and said, "Book the match with AJ Styles," which is okay. So yeah. I think Brock basically was like, "I think this is like a dud," and it would have been, you know. I guess it would have been a dud match. We all know.
No, it would have been the greatest fucking match ever. It would not have been a dud. Jinder Mahal would have shown the world what he's capable of. I still think that match should happen. I think Jinder Mahal still thinks that match should happen. Someday, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it could. In an alternate world, it did. And Jinder Mahal won. And it would have been the number one thing on our top 12 list, but it's not. I'm gonna have to deal with that, I guess. So we've got our list.
We got our list.
I'm gonna reel back from fantasy and get back to reality. The reality is, all right.
We're gonna do this one by one.
Yeah, you've got yours in order as well.
I got mine in order. Yeah.
All right, I've got them in order by year, and then what it was.
Cool. All right, I'll start. So we got 2019 Survivor Series NXT Women's Team defeat the Raw and SmackDown's team. Yep.
2001 Kurt Angle turns on the Alliance, winning it for Team WWE.
We got 1988. Andre the Giant becomes the first ever sole survivor.
Yeah. The number nine is from 1999. Stone Cold gets run over by Rikishi for Triple H for The Rock.
He did it for The Rock.
He did it for The Rock, but also for Triple H, who paid him.
Number 8, also 1999. Kurt Angle's debut.
Look at that. Look at 1999 coming in strong with two 2 spots.
I think it's the only one that had 2 entries as well.
I believe so, yeah. 2003, we've got Kane burying the biker Undertaker gimmick.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Number 6, we got the 1996. Look at that, we did it again.
Yeah, holy shit.
The Rock wins his debut against Goldust.
Mm-hmm. With a shoulder breaker.
With a shoulder breaker. Just he might have broke his shoulder.
He probably, I mean, he did. He must have broken his shoulder. That's why he couldn't kick out. He couldn't lift it.
That's why it's called a shoulder breaker. Number 5, that's you.
Oh, the 5, first ever Elimination Chamber from 2002.
There we go.
Shawn Michaels. That was Shawn Michaels beating Triple H.
Winning the world championship.
Yes, his first. I guess that was his. I think that was his first world.
The first world title and his last any world championship at that point. Number 4 from 2023 last year, CM Punk returns to the WWE.
Whew. 2012, number 3, the Shield debut, also involving CM Punk.
And Ryback. Number 2, 1997, the Montreal Screwjob.
The greatest work in WWE history. I mean,
wrestling
history. To this day, in wrestling history. Which leaves us to number 1. You know, it is legendary. It is unmistakable. The debut of The Undertaker changed professional wrestling. The things that he did in his career are unquestionably just everything. That career that spanned 30 years is just
nothing
incredible.
short of incredible. Yeah.
There's just so much. There's nothing else. There's nothing else bigger than that. It can't be.
No.
That character surpasses every other moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So there it is.
There we go. That's our top 12.
Yeah, our top 12. So, I think the only thing we got left to do now, we got to pick our review
So
match.
I was just looking. There have been 37 Survivor Series in the past.
37. All right.
So we need to roll
a
something.
D37.
So are we both rolling a 20?
Yeah, let's both roll a 20.
All right.
We'll see what we get.
Cool.
You have yours?
Yep, 2 seconds.
All right. We'll roll at the same time.
All right. 3,
right. 3,
2, 1.
Roll.
Go.
That is a 6 for me.
6, and I got a 19, so 25.
Damn. All right, 25. Survivor Series 25. That is
that's fine.
2011 from Madison Square John Cena.
That's so fucking good.
Madison Square Garden in New York City. We've got John Cena and The Rock versus Awesome Truth.
Oh, yeah, we do.
What? That's the main event?
Yep, we got Dolph Ziggler versus John Morrison for the United States Championship. We got Beth Phoenix versus Eve Torres in a Lumberjill match for the Divas Championship. We got Team Barrett, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's again. Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, and Hunico, and Wade Barrett. Hunico?
Yeah.
Shit. Versus Team Orton. Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, Mason Ryan, Sheamus, and Sin Cara. Yeah.
Wow.
We got the
Mason
Big
Ryan.
Show versus Mark Henry in a singles match, for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio for the WWE Championship. And The Rock and John Cena versus the Awesome Truth.
How in the world?
Man, we've got a really bad one.
Wow. But the fact that The Miz and just R-Truth being in the main event of Survivor Series is phenomenal. I cannot wait to find out how this happened. I'm shocked.
I know how it happened, but we can get there. Week.
Yeah, we'll get there when we talk about it next week.
Yeah.
All right, man. Holy shit. Oh, I guess we got to do shout-outs. Got to do shout-outs. Shout out to Wikipedia. Support Wikipedia. That is where we get most of the information for all of this stuff. I also used, you know what? I'm gonna say I also used ChatGPT.
Oh, look at you.
To look up some of the most talked about storylines leading up to Survivor Series this week, which we talked a little bit about on our Patreon, patreon.com/punkstalkwrestling. You just have to subscribe to it to get all the stuff that's on there. You can interact with us on social media, Instagram and Threads at Punks Talk Wrestling. There is YouTube and there is a Facebook at Punks Talk Wrestling. There's an email at punkstalkwrestling@gmail.com. I guess that's it then.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Al2K and Kaylee at 2K UK WWE 2K24. Start your legacy. Step into the story.
Do you want to try and say that quicker?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
Nope.
All right. I think we're actually done now, though.
I think so.
So, see you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Wait, no, you said bye. Oh, you did. I was saying bye over you. Sorry.
Yeah, I said bye.
My bad.
Okay, bye.
Again. I was just talking over you again, man. Sorry.
Try that again. Bye.
Did you see there was something? He was actually right about something.
Yeah, I know. He had a rare win. I saw that.
He had a rare, like everybody was commenting. It's just like a rare Ryback win about. I forget what it was.
It was about wrestlers having time off.
Oh, about wrestlers having time off.
Because they recorded an episode of Raw or something.
That's right. Yeah. Hey man, I mean.
Hey, you know.
I'd love to see it, man.
When you're right, you're right, but mostly you are wrong.
Mostly you're Ryback, you know. But hey. If this is if we get a turn of Ryback like coming back to being a guy that people don't just want to shit on for saying dumb shit.
WWE will never hire that guy ever again.
There's no chance in hell, Ryback. No,
he's literally accused Triple H of having an affair with Caitlyn.
That's true. He has said some pretty inflammatory stuff.
So
I'm really surprised. I am shocked he really hasn't made it to AEW though somehow. I don't know why.
But the thing is, he used to be really good friends with Daniel Bryan, and that's got to tell me that even him and Daniel Bryan don't speak anymore.
He did. I mean, I know he said some stuff that people laugh about on the internet for reason. You know, some of it for good reasons, and some of it's a little. You know, some of it's on the line.
Yeah.
But like, I'm really just shocked that he hasn't done anything in wrestling since like. I don't get it. Like,
just because I think anyone wants to hire him. I think it's a liability. So he's just.
Oh, that's right, because he's terribly unsafe and sandbag people all the time.
Oh yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Forgot about that part.
Forgot about that part. Everyone hated
Number
him.
2, 1997, the Montreal Screwjob.